He untied it, his heart pounding with a mix of anticipation and fear. When the final layer fell away, Ryan froze. Sophia's face was beyond anything he had imagined. Her beauty was otherworldly, but as he stared, a wave of darkness consumed him. His chest tightened, his vision blurred, and his body collapsed to the floor. Sophia awoke feeling groggy. Her head throbbed, and for a moment, she couldn't recall where she was. Then she noticed her face covering on the floor, and panic set in. She turned and saw Ryan lying motionless, his eyes wide open. In the bustling city of Livingston, a baby girl named Sophia was born into the family of Dr. Ethan and Mrs. Clara Rivers. From the moment she entered the world, her unparalleled beauty became her curse. Everyone in the hospital who caught a glimpse of her face, doctors, nurses, visitors, dropped lifeless to the floor. Only her parents, shielded by their deep love for her, survived. Realizing the danger, Sophia's parents vowed to keep her hidden, both for her safety and the safety of others. Clara decided to homeschool Sophia, teaching her everything from literature to advanced mathematics. Sophia's intelligence was as extraordinary as her beauty, but loneliness clouded her childhood. She longed to experience life like other children, playing outside, making friends, but she understood the cost of being seen. As Sophia grew older, the isolation weighed heavily on her. On her 18th birthday, her parents decided it was time for her to leave the confines of their home and attend Northern Star University, a prestigious institution miles away. To protect her secret, Sophia wrapped her face in layers of fabric, revealing only her striking blue eyes. At the university, Sophia quickly became a standout student. Professors admired her brilliance, and she aced every test. However, her mysterious appearance sparked curiosity and rumors among the students. Some believed she was hiding scars, while others thought she was simply eccentric. Among her peers was Jessica Carter, the self-proclaimed queen of the campus. Jessica thrived on attention and was known for her cruel jokes and manipulative schemes. She became fixated on Sophia, seeing her as a challenge to conquer. One day, Jessica cornered Sophia in the hallway, surrounded by a crowd of students. "Why do you cover your face every day? What are you hiding under there? Scars or something uglier?" Jessica sneered. Sophia looked at her calmly. "You wouldn't want to know," she said quietly. Jessica smirked. "Oh, come on. Prove it. Show us you're not scared." Despite the taunts, Sophia remained composed. She knew revealing her face would lead to disaster. But Jessica's persistence escalated. Every day, she hurled insults and challenged Sophia to remove her covering. The students, curious and entertained, began to anticipate these confrontations. Among the students was Ryan Blackwood, a charming and popular young man admired by nearly everyone. Jessica, determined to keep the spotlight on herself, devised a plan to use Ryan to humiliate Sophia. During lunch, Jessica approached Ryan with a fake smile. "Ryan, I need a favor," she said sweetly. He raised an eyebrow. "What's the catch, Jessica?" Jessica leaned closer, her voice dripping with manipulation. "Get close to Sophia. Pretend you're interested in her. Gain her trust, and when she least expects it, take off that ridiculous covering. Snap a picture of her face, and we'll finally see what she's hiding." Ryan hesitated. "Why do you care so much? She's not bothering anyone." Jessica rolled her eyes. "She acts like she's better than everyone else. I'm just leveling the playing field." Despite his reluctance, Ryan agreed. He started sitting next to Sophia during lectures, offering casual conversation and friendly smiles. Sophia, initially wary, slowly began to lower her guard. Over time, Ryan's charm seemed genuine, and she started to see him as a potential friend. But Ryan's conscience weighed heavily on him. The closer he got to Sophia, the more he admired her intelligence and kindness. Still, Jessica's words loomed in his mind, pushing him toward betrayal. As days turned into weeks, Ryan's presence became a fixture in Sophia's life. He sat beside her during lectures, joined her for lunch in the secluded garden where she preferred to study, and even shared snacks to make her feel comfortable. Sophia, who had spent most of her life in isolation, found herself cautiously enjoying his company. For the first time, she felt the warmth of companionship, even if she still kept her guard up. One evening, Ryan approached Sophia in the library. "You're incredible at this calculus stuff," he said, pretending to struggle with an assignment. "I could really use your help to get through this." Sophia hesitated. Her rule had always been to avoid letting anyone get too close. But Ryan's kind demeanor and earnest request softened her. "All right," she said with a small smile. "Meet me in the common study room tomorrow evening. We'll go over it together." The next evening, Ryan arrived with a small gift, a packet of cookies Sophia had mentioned liking once. "For you," he said with a grin. Sophia was touched. "Thank you," she said, placing the cookies on the table as they began to study. Hours passed as she patiently explained concepts, her voice calm and confident. Ryan, meanwhile, when Sophia stood to grab a book from the shelf, Ryan slipped a small packet of powder Jessica had given him into her tea. "You've been working too hard," he said when she returned, handing her the cup. "Take a sip and relax a little." Sophia, oblivious to his intentions, sipped the tea. Within minutes, her eyelids grew heavy. "I think I'm getting sleepy," she murmured. Ryan feigned concern. "You've done so much today. Lie down for a bit. I'll pack up and leave." As Sophia's head rested on the table, her breathing evened out. Ryan waited until he was certain she was asleep. His hands trembled as he reached for the fabric covering her face. Knot by knot, he untied it, his heart pounding with a mix of anticipation and fear. When the final layer fell away, Ryan froze. Sophia's face was beyond anything he had imagined. Her beauty was otherworldly, radiant, and almost ethereal. But as he stared, a wave of darkness consumed him. His chest tightened, his vision blurred, and his body collapsed to the floor. Sophia awoke feeling groggy. Her head throbbed, and for a moment, she couldn't recall where she was. Then she noticed her face covering on the floor, and panic set in. She turned and saw Ryan lying motionless, his eyes wide open. "Ryan," she whispered, crawling toward him. She shook his shoulder, her voice rising in desperation. "Ryan, wake up!" But he didn't move. Tears streamed down Sophia's face as she realized what had happened. "Why didn't you listen?" she cried, clutching the fabric and hurriedly tying it back over her face. "Why did you do this?" Her cries attracted the attention of other students. When a passerby peeked into the room and saw Ryan's lifeless body, they screamed. Within moments, the campus security arrived, followed by the police. Sophia sat trembling as officers questioned her. "What happened here?" one asked, his tone stern. Sophia's voice wavered as she replied, He saw my face. That's all it takes. I warned him, but he didn't listen." The officers exchanged uncertain glances. Rumors about Sophia had circulated for months, but no one had taken them seriously until now. After speaking with her parents and piecing together her past, the authorities concluded that Sophia wasn't a criminal. "This isn't murder," one officer murmured to another. "It's something beyond explanation." Later that night, Sophia was released into her parents' custody. Clara held her tightly, whispering, "It's going to be all right, my darling." Through her tears, Sophia shook her head. "I don't want to hurt anyone else, Mom. Maybe I should just stay away from everyone forever." Clara cupped her daughter's face, her voice steady. "Sophia, you can't run from the world forever. You've worked too hard to get here. Don't let fear dictate your life." News of Ryan's death spread quickly across campus. Whispers of the girl with the deadly face filled the halls. Some students avoided Sophia entirely, while others stared at her with a mix of fear and curiosity. Jessica, however, was enraged. Her plan had spiraled out of control, and now she had lost Ryan, a pawn she had hoped to use for her own amusement. She couldn't believe that Sophia, the quiet and mysterious girl, had become the center of everyone's attention. One afternoon, Jessica stormed into the library where Sophia was quietly reading. She slammed her hands on the table, startling everyone nearby. "You think you can just walk around here like nothing happened?" she hissed. "You're a killer, Sophia. Everyone knows it." Sophia looked up, Her expression calmed despite the chaos inside her. "I warned him," she said quietly. "He didn't listen. And neither did you." Jessica's face turned red with fury. "You think you're special just because you hide behind that cloth? You're nothing but a freak." Sophia stood, her voice steady but firm. "I don't care what you think, Jessica. Your games don't scare me." The students around them gasped, sensing the tension escalate. Jessica leaned closer, her voice dripping with venom. "You'll regret this, Sophia. I'll make sure everyone knows just how dangerous you are." Sophia's gaze didn't waver. "Do what you want, Jessica. But remember, your actions have consequences." As Jessica stormed off, Sophia sat back down, her heart pounding. For the first time, she had stood up to her tormentor. But deep down, she knew the battle was far from over. A week after Ryan's tragic death, a new student named Dennis Coleman arrived at Northern Star University. Tall, with a confident demeanor and an easy smile, Dennis immediately became the talk of the campus. His charm and good looks drew the attention of many, including Jessica, who saw him as her next conquest. From the moment Jessica laid eyes on Dennis, she was determined to have him. "He's perfect," she told her friends. "I'll make him mine before the week is out." Jessica's entourage nodded, accustomed to her bold declarations. Dennis, however, wasn't easily swayed by superficial charm. While Jessica flaunted herself in front of him, he remained polite but distant, focusing more on his studies than on the campus drama. Despite his efforts to avoid unnecessary attention, it didn't take long for him to hear whispers about Sophia, the girl who always covered her face. Curiosity piqued. Dennis began observing Sophia from a distance. He noticed her quiet demeanor, her focus on her studies, and the way other students either avoided or ridiculed her. Unlike the others, he didn't feel fear or disdain. Instead, he felt intrigued. One afternoon, Dennis decided to approach her. Spotting her in the library, sitting alone with a book, he walked over and said, "Hi, I'm Dennis. You're Sophia, right?" Sophia looked up, her striking blue eyes meeting his. She hesitated before replying, "Yes. Can I help you?" Dennis smiled. "I've heard you're great at calculus. Mind if I join you? I could use some help." Sophia was wary, but something about Dennis felt genuine. "All right," she said cautiously, "but I don't have time for distractions." Over the next few weeks, Dennis and Sophia spent more time together. His kindness and respect slowly broke down her walls. They discussed books, science, and life in general. For the first time since arriving at the university, Sophia felt like someone saw her as more than just the girl with the face covering. As Dennis and Sophia's friendship grew, Jessica's frustration boiled over. She couldn't believe Dennis was spending so much time with someone she considered a nobody. To her, Sophia was an obstacle that needed to be removed. During lunch one day, Jessica cornered Dennis near the cafeteria. "Dennis," she said with her trademark fake smile, "I don't know why you're wasting your time with her. Sophia isn't like us. She's weird. You should be with someone who actually fits in." Dennis frowned, unimpressed by her attempt to manipulate him. "Jessica," he said firmly, "Sophia is a good person. I don't care what you or anyone else thinks." Jessica's smile faltered. "You'll regret saying that," she muttered under her breath as Dennis walked away. Jessica's jealousy turned to hatred. She began spreading more rumors about Sophia, claiming she was cursed and dangerous. Some students believed her, while others dismissed it as another one of Jessica's schemes. Despite the rumors, Dennis and Sophia's bond deepened. Dennis admired Sophia's intelligence and resilience, while Sophia found comfort in his presence. He was the only person who treated her like a normal human being, not a mystery or a threat. One evening, as they sat under a tree on campus, Dennis turned to her and said, "Sophia, I don't care what anyone says about you. I think you're amazing, just the way you are." Sophia's heart raced. No one had ever said anything like that to her before. "You don't even know what I'm hiding," she said quietly. Dennis smiled. "I don't need to. You're more than what's under that cloth." For the first time in her life, Sophia felt hope. She began to wonder if she could have a future where her curse didn't define her. Jessica couldn't stand seeing Dennis and Sophia together. Fueled by rage and humiliation, She devised a plan to expose Sophia once and for all. One day, she gathered her closest friends and laid out her scheme. "We'll corner her during the graduation party," Jessica said. "She won't expect it. Dennis will be there too. And when we pull off her face covering in front of everyone, the truth will come out." Her friends hesitated. "What if something bad happens?" one of them asked nervously. Jessica scoffed. "Don't be ridiculous. It's just a stupid superstition. Nothing will happen." Meanwhile, Dennis sensed something was wrong. Jessica's sudden interest in the graduation party made him suspicious, and he decided to stay close to Sophia to protect her. On the night of the party, as Sophia entered the hall, her face still covered, Jessica approached her with a fake smile. "Enjoying the party?" she asked sweetly, loud enough for everyone to hear. Sophia glanced at her, wary of her tone. "Yes," she replied curtly. Jessica's smile widened. "Why don't you take off that cloth and really join the fun? Or are you afraid of what people will think?" Before Sophia could respond, Dennis stepped between them. "Back off, Jessica," he said firmly. The crowd murmured, sensing the tension. Jessica glared at Dennis, her plans slipping out of her control. "You're defending her? Why? She's hiding something from all of us." Dennis looked at Sophia, his voice steady and filled with conviction. "She's not hiding anything from me. And if you can't respect her, maybe you're the one who doesn't belong here." Jessica, humiliated and defeated, stormed out of the hall. The crowd parted to let her through, and for the first time, Sophia felt like she wasn't alone. Sophia, feeling a mix of relief and unease, decided to leave the party early. As she walked toward the campus gates, Dennis caught up with her. "Wait," he called out, gently grabbing her arm. "Are you all right?" Sophia nodded, her voice soft. "I'm fine, just tired. Thank you for standing up for me back there." Dennis smiled. "You don't have to thank me. I just said what everyone should already know. You deserve respect." Sophia hesitated. She wanted to trust Dennis, but the fear of her curse weighed heavily on her. "Dennis," she began, her voice trembling, "there's something I need to tell you. Something important." Dennis looked at her, his expression serious. "You can tell me anything, Sophia. I'm here for you." Taking a deep breath, Sophia decided it was time to reveal the truth. "The reason I cover my face, it's not because I'm ashamed or hiding scars. It's because my face, it's deadly. Anyone who sees it dies instantly." Dennis stared at her, processing her words. "Sophia," he said carefully, "you don't have to explain yourself to me. I don't believe in curses or superstitions. I believe in you." Sophia's eyes filled with tears. "You don't understand. It's real. I've seen it happen, more than once. That's why I keep my face covered. I don't want to hurt anyone else." Dennis reached out, gently placing a hand on her shoulder. "Then trust me. Let me prove to you that I'm not afraid." Sophia shook her head, stepping back. "No, I can't risk it. I won't risk losing you too." Dennis didn't push further, but promised her, "Whenever you're ready, I'll be here." Despite her growing feelings for Dennis, Sophia remained terrified of the possibility that he might someday see her face. She confided in her mother during a late-night call. "Mom," Sophia said, her voice shaking, "I think I'm falling for him, but I'm scared. What if he ends up like the others?" Clara's voice was calm and reassuring. "Sophia, love is a powerful thing. If Dennis truly cares for you, he'll find a way to accept you for who you are. But you need to decide if you're ready to trust him with the truth." Sophia spent the night wrestling with her emotions. By morning, she made a decision. She would test Dennis's love and loyalty. That evening, she invited him to her dorm room, her heart pounding with anticipation. When he arrived, she greeted him with a nervous smile. "Thank you for coming," she said. Dennis smiled back. "Of course. What's on your mind?" Sophia sat him down, her hands trembling. "I need to show you something," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Dennis watched as she slowly reached for the edge of her face covering. "Are you sure?" he asked gently. Sophia nodded. "If you're willing to risk it, so am I." As she removed the cloth, Dennis's breath caught. Her face was unlike anything he had ever seen. Breathtakingly beautiful, almost otherworldly. For a moment, He felt a strange pull, as if her beauty was too much to comprehend. But then nothing happened. Dennis blinked, his chest rising and falling steadily. "Sophia," he said softly, "you're stunning." Sophia stared at him in disbelief. You're not dying?" He laughed lightly. "No, I feel perfectly fine." Tears streamed down Sophia's face as relief and joy washed over her. "I don't understand," she said, her voice trembling. Dennis took her hands in his. "Maybe it's because I love you, Sophia. Truly, deeply. I don't care about your curse or what anyone else thinks. You're perfect to me." Sophia spent the night reflecting on what had happened. For years, she had believed her face was a death sentence, but Dennis's survival proved otherwise. Could his love truly be the key to breaking her curse? The next morning, Sophia called her mother to share the news. "Mom," she said, her voice filled with emotion, "Dennis saw my face, and he's alive. He says he loves me. Could that mean the curse is broken?" Clara's voice trembled with joy. "Oh, Sophia, I've prayed for this day for so long. It must be true. His love for you is stronger than the curse." Bolstered by her mother's words, Sophia decided to take the ultimate step. She walked on a campus that day, without her face covering, her head held high. As she passed through the halls, students stopped and stared, their jaws dropping in shock. Whispers filled the air. "Is that Sophia? She's beautiful. I can't believe she was hiding this all along." Sophia felt a mix of fear and exhilaration as she made her way to the library, where Dennis was waiting for her. When he saw her, his face lit up with pride and admiration. Jessica, who had been sulking in a corner, spotted Sophia and froze. Her jealousy and hatred flared as she marched over. "So this is what you've been hiding," Jessica sneered. "You think you're better than everyone else now, don't you?" Sophia met her gaze calmly. "No, Jessica. I've never thought I was better than anyone. But I know one thing. You've spent so much time tearing others down because you're insecure. Maybe it's time you looked in the mirror." The students around them burst into applause, finally standing up to Jessica's bullying. Jessica, humiliated, stormed out of the library. As Sophia turned to Dennis, he pulled her into a warm embrace. "You've always been brave," he whispered. "But now, everyone else can see it too." For the first time in her life, Sophia felt free. Free from the curse, free from judgment, and free to live as her true self. What lessons did you learn from this dramatic tale? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for joining us again on African Tales by Erica. Your support means the world to us. Please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more captivating stories. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.